Hello, everyone. Welcome to VentureJX podcast. Welcome to everyone watching us from around the world. We know there are always more and more people joining us. We are also very happy to have Julia Keller with us today, from all the way from Colorado. And I know you've been up really early this morning, Julia. So thank you for being with us here live. To all the viewers out there, please share in the comment section below where you are listening in from. It's always so cool for us here in the studio on either side of the planet to see where people are joining us from. And also, if you do have any questions, please also leave them in the comment section, either during the live broadcast or afterwards. We will be monitoring the comment section, and Julia and I will be more than happy to come back to you with any answers to questions that you may have. So with all that housekeeping in order, I think it's time to dive into today's topic about healthy habits. How do we stay healthy in the long run by building good habits? And thank you, Julia, for joining us and for helping us learn a little bit more about this topic. Perhaps to begin with, if you will, just introduce yourself briefly to the audience.
Hi, Peter. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much. I cannot believe this is my very first real podcast I'm part of. Peter and my story is actually real funny. We met in San Diego. We kind of just ran into each other, and he reached out and asked me if I wanted to be part of his podcast. And I thought it was a joke, but here I am talking to all of you about creating a healthier life for ourselves, even when we feel sometimes so very busy. My name is Julia Keller. I am originally born in Germany, so very close to where Peter is located right now, on the other side of the pond, everyone. And now I'm in Colorado here. I've been a fitness and health and wellness professional for 25 years and plus and more even. So I've been taking care of people's health and well-being for many years, and that's why I'm so very excited to be here today with Peter and all of you to clarify a few things and just maybe shine a little light on it's not impossible, even though we sometimes feel like we need 3 more hours in our day to be able to take care of ourselves. No, it's like somebody give me 2 more hours so I can take care of my health and well-being. So thank you again for joining. I know some of you are here from the US and some of you from all over the world. So I cannot wait to get started talking to you, Peter, about this very interesting, important topic. So
Mm.
yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, so thank you, Julia, for that introduction of yourself. And yeah, I think today's topic is hugely important because we might be in good health today, all of us, but how will things look in 1, 2, 3 decades from now? And that health is something that is shaped in the time that passes between today and then, our future self. And with our lifestyles becoming increasingly sedentary and with very still jobs, we sit, we stand like you and I do here, but we're not out there like our ancestors were doing manual things, using the body for what it really can, what it was really created to do. And so so does that make the body wither away if we don't use it? And here I'm just really curious to open up today's web podcast by with asking you, so from all your many years of experience, how do you see that this sedentary lifestyle is influencing people's health?
Yeah, obviously it's affecting all of us now. You are right. We are not like our ancestors chasing animals down the prairie and hunting for our food. we're doing kind of the opposite to our bodies. No, we're sitting, so we do see much more tightness in our, specifically in our hips. Because yeah, I know you are standing, Peter, A plus student. I'm sitting still in my chair, as you can see. So usually this is what we do. No, opposite of what we used to do and what our bodies are made for. Our bodies are made for movement, and as you can imagine, any joint that's not being used or at least moved will become very stiff. It's anything really, if you think about something that is meant to bend, like any kind of joint, if it's just stuck in one position, it's really hard to make that unstuck again. So that's why obviously our hips are specifically tight usually, just because yeah, we do sit a lot. And even if you're using your stand-up desk, oftentimes I do the same thing. Standing too long is also not good. It will really compress our spine. So then you are like, okay, Julia, so sitting is bad and standing is bad. Like, what should I do? Should I lay down at work? And really, the answer is much simpler oftentimes than what we think, because all we need to do to make us feel better and to make our joints unstuck and to feel a little bit less tight at the end of the day and support our body in with what it was meant to do, move, we really just need to kick back our chair and just stand up. It's like, if you think about your body when you get out of your chair, your body is kind of like giving up this big happy like sigh, just like, ah, finally, I get to stand up. So that's all I'm asking you to do right now, because I know some of us are sitting, because over here I got up at 5:15 this morning, okay? Yes. So sometimes that's all we need to do. So if you think about being healthier, don't start by thinking, oh, and then after work or like at 3 a.m., maybe then I'll go to the gym because then the kids are in bed and my friends are all happy and my spouse and all the things have been put in place, and then it's time for me. No, I want you to scratch that away out of your thought process that you need that extra time. I want you to use those opportunities that come throughout the day just by maybe standing up. And then after 2 or 3 minutes of just standing, you will sit back down. And that's totally fine, because I know a lot of us are stuck to the chair because we are typing, we're in meetings. Some of us, that's all we do. Some of us are just coding all day, or we are executive leaders of a company. So we do have those times where we have to just be sitting or standing for a longer period of time. So, Peter, we need to see those little opportunities within our day where we just say, hey, I'm sitting, but I could be standing. So, why don't I just stand up? And I am standing, but I could also be moving. So, why don't I just move? And I'm not asking you to do like big burpees and like squat jumps. I'm just asking you to think about your body as all those different joints connected to each other, and then just doing a couple movements, which is also just maybe sometimes calf raises, yes, to get our blood flowing and to get our calves activated. And you know what, our ankles are kind of like our red-headed stepchildren, because we don't think much about our ankles, but those ankles, they keep us from tripping. And so it's really important sometimes to just stand there. If you were at the grocery store or at the airport or in the aisle of your airplane, just to do some calf raises. And I want you to really think about what you're doing for your body here. It's not nothing, it's something very important. These little tiny important steps that you are taking and that you are seeing throughout your day, they will come together and make you just feel better at the end of the day. And that's exactly what we want. No, Peter, we just want to feel better, and not just like we got steamrolled over the day and at night we're just like, oh my goodness, we want to feel better. So let's find these little opportunities throughout the day.
I think that's really smart thinking, right? To really boil it down to the smallest component, because
Hmm.
we are all very busy, right, with work and family and kids and volunteer activities and going to spare time events and activities. So by taking that 30 seconds, 1 minute here, 1 minute
Hmm.
there, and then really yeah, what you're saying is a lot about consciousness, about movement, and that's a very interesting idea you have. I also met with a many years ago one of these office health therapists who said the next position to sit in, the best way to sit in your chair is the next position. So she was saying sort of the same as you, just change around,
Hmm.
stand up, sit down, move. um
Exactly. Exactly. Because, Peter, little things just like I try to usually sit pretty upright. Sometimes I want to be a little mindful, and that's oftentimes we lose the connection to our body, and our body just moves like a robot because we are very used to moving in a certain way. So we have to sometimes remind ourselves to become a little bit more mindful of our body and connect our mind and body together again. So then I say to myself, okay, I have a little sticky note on my computer. It says posture, or like it's just a drawing of an upright person. And so it reminds me when I look at my screen, it's like, oh, I have to reset my posture real quick. So I scoot forward in my chair and I just sit upright for like maybe 60, 120 seconds, like 2 minutes. And then, like you said, the next position. And then I come back because this is like exercising. Yes, sitting upright and engaging your entire body and core and making sure that my shoulders are back and down. This is exercising. I'm actively engaging my entire body. So then I'm like, okay, I deserve a break. And then I can sit back for a little bit. And then I get up. And these little tiny steps that you might think even like, oh, but that's nothing. That's how we start a new little habit, no, by going from nothing, doing really nothing, to doing one thing of something.
yeah.
Because it's kind of like when you plant a seed and you want to grow this beautiful flower, you have to plant the seed before you can get a flower. So I want you to think about being healthier and living a healthier lifestyle starts with that little seed. And the little seed sometimes is just you saying, you know what, I could stand. And you just get up one time, and whatever you do up here, if you are doing calf raises, if you are doing glute kicks, just moving those joints, it's like, ooh, it almost feels like dancing throughout the day here. But that's how it starts, and that's where you grow your flower, your wellness flower, your health flower, out of that little tiny seed that we're planting.
Yeah, and then I think also if it does come to dancing and that motion, let's also not discount the value of dopamine, right? Like if it is a little bit
Totally.
fun and it makes us laugh, or it makes our colleagues laugh in the office, then perhaps
Yeah,
it,
that's
it also
right.
spawns a sort of community.
Exactly. And that's, sometimes when we think of movement, if you think back, like everybody back in the day, like there was something that you loved to do as a child. No, I mean, I grew up on a German farm. So, you know what I did? I did farm work. If I look at my children nowadays, it's just like, wow, this is just one generation, but what happened? It's pretty crazy. So back in the day when we were little, no, we just moved our body because we were like having fun. We just like chased each other and we did all the things, climbing trees. Not all of us, but many of us did things. We just do them as child because guess what? We don't have responsibilities. We don't have worries. I mean, we have childhood worries, but usually it's just, we have time. We can just do whatever we want. So as we are growing older and we are getting more responsible, we have a family, we have friends that we care about, we have, oh, wait, I forgot, we have a job, we have to make money. No, so we have all of these things that don't really allow us to think about, oh, how did I used to love moving my body? But I do want you to go back to what was fun back in the day. Could we maybe, instead of going to the fitness center for 60 to 90 minutes and doing those exercises we are supposed to do, maybe we could start with something that's really fun. Like, for instance, if you're working at home and you have, or even in the office, if you have a cool office like Peter will just all of a sudden play his favorite song. And I'd be like, Peter gets out of his chair and he's like, yay, 2 minutes of dance party. So that's not going to work for all of you. Not everybody's going to have like a dance off at the office right now, or maybe you will. But that's how I want you to think about movement. Movement should be fun. We should, because we don't have a lot of fun during the normal life. No, it's like we have to go to work and we have to make money, a lot of pressure and responsibility. So for a second there, you can break out and do something fun. Sometimes I go and climb a tree. So I want you to think about, is there a way that you could maybe add a little bit more fun into that movement throughout the day? Because fun is important, no?
I think fun is a key word. We also
Mhm.
tend to repeat what is fun, right?
Yeah,
Because
because
it's
it's not
easier.
it's not hard, no? It's like, that was fun. And you're like, I want to do that again. I want to feel that way, because when you talk about dopamine and, you know, you want to feel that again. So we are much more likely to do something that was giving us those feelings than this, I have to go to the gym and do 100 squats. That doesn't sound like, maybe some of you really like squats, and then that's really fun. But I want you to think, if you are here because you don't know where to start with something that's fun and something that's really tiny, almost so tiny you can't even really see it, and you don't even recognize it as something that will have a big impact. But as this little habit grows, it will have a huge impact on your well-being.
Yeah, I mean, that was also something that you and I found out relatively early on in our conversation back in San Diego, was that we
Hmm.
both are followers of and believers in the system of Atomic Habits, the book of the same name by James Clear, where he really boils it down to size, right? Like, make it so small that you can repeat it every day. Build a streak by setting those X's so that you want to repeat it. And then thirdly, talk about your habit, because the more you talk about it, the more you also become inclined to actually follow through with that behavior
Yeah.
that you're
Hmm.
telling everyone about.
Exactly.
What is
And
your experience with Atomic Habits in when you help your clients to change?
I Peter, I don't know I don't even remember how I got to read the book first. Somebody was talking about it and I was like, okay, interesting. Sometimes I just go, if somebody tells me an interesting book or something, I do like to read and educate myself. And so it's like, I'll give it a try. As soon as I read the first chapter, which is his story, James's story, how he became this person who he is today, I was impressed. No, Peter, the story is incredible. You ask yourself, how did he bounce back, and how is that even possible that happened to him, and then he he got back to this, and now he's this person. And it all started with this one little thing he started. One little thing that almost seems so microscopic, you can't even see it. You can't even, anybody else would be like, this is nothing, but it is. And that's how it all starts. And that's what I said, no. And one of the most important things that I got out of this book and that I use with every single client I touch every day, whether it's in person or it's virtually, we always come back to my favorite topic of the book, which is habit stacking. Because ultimately, if you look at your calendar, it's full. Your day is full. Whether we are a stay-at-home parent, whether we are an exec of a company, C-suite people, anybody really can correlate or can relate to this. Your calendar is full of things. So just the thought of adding, oh, where can I find a window to add more things to my calendar, is really not fun to think about, because usually that is really anxiety inducing. And
Mhm.
so once we feel that way about something, we won't stick to it. Maybe you'll to it for like a week, maybe two, but then it will fall off your calendar because it's just another thing you have to do. So Peter, one of the things we talk about, no, because we like the habit stacking, it makes so much sense. So if I ask you right now, Peter, what is something you do every day, Monday through Sunday, it's just something you do in your day.
I get a
Can you think?
coffee.
Coffee for me too. And
I
some
go
of you
get a
might not do
coffee.
coffee. I know. Coffee, yes? That's
Mm.
how my day starts. Every day I start with my coffee. I have a whole routine. I do a pour over. So here's what I'm telling you right now. So if you look at your day, everybody, and you can put it in the chat just to maybe also write it down, because that's one thing Peter said. No, share what you're planning on doing, because then People will hold you accountable. But look through your day and think about something that you do every day. It doesn't matter what happens. This is something you do. And I do my pour over. So I start my water. And so I could just wait for my water. Yeah, I could just like wait for my water to boil, which sometimes I feel like doing. Or you know what else we do sometimes? We take out our phone and we're like waiting for the water and we scroll through social media or whatever. I'm not judging. You can do that. But instead, I want you to see this opportunity as something where you could do something like we can do glute kicks. It's nothing that we are not adding something really to our day. It's just something we're using our opportunity of every day making coffee or tea, whatever it is. And we're using this opportunity to start this new little seed, this little habit. We are stacking one little habit to something that's already established. So it's going to be much easier for us to stick with this new habit. The same when you brush your teeth. I could brush my teeth and sit on my bed and just wait, but I could also brush my teeth and like do side steps or something, or anything really. I want you all to think about your day as a huge opportunity to move, to do
Mm.
something. And I don't want you to be like scared because now I'm telling you, oh, Julia told me I have to add all of these things to my day. Just look at your day. Just look at your day and find those opportunities to stack something to something already really established.
And I think also the key to what you're saying is when you make it so small and you use all of those tiny breaks that are in between different things, like when you're waiting for the water to boil. Um, in one day, it seems so very small, but aggregated, like
Hmm.
over the course of a year, those glute kicks or those standing up on your toes like that, when repeated 365 times, because you do it every day,
Yeah,
then it adds up, and then it's not such a small thing anymore.
exactly. Exactly. That's what I want you to think. Because I want you also all to think about right now, how many minutes do you think do you move a day? Okay. And I know sometimes when we talk about, like, for instance, 10,000 step challenges, it's a really big thing here in the US. I don't know how it is over on the other side of the pond, but it's just one of those things, we are trying to get to 10,000 steps a day. And if you look at your step count, because I know a lot of us, I'm not one of them though, I don't have a watch, but if you look at your watch and you see, oh, 560 steps and it's 3 p.m. I won't get to 10,000. That's very discouraging. No, that's like, ooh, what's wrong with me? But I don't want you to think about that way. I want you to be like, this is an opportunity for me to, you know what? I will wait for my water while I'm falling all over my chair, while I'm also marching in place. If you are maybe at the office and you are waiting for your coffee maker, like ours takes a long time, and you don't feel like you want to march in place. I understand there are those little things. The same when I say to my members, hey, when you are at the airport and you are waiting, why don't you do the steam engine? Which is, if you think about this movement, all the things that I'm moving while I'm doing a steam engine, I'm moving my spine and I'm activating my shoulders and my hips and my knees and my ankles. This is like major. This is a major movement. It's one of those things that I would tell you to do. But I want you to just think of, but what if I take 20 more steps right now? And then 20 more steps later when I brush my teeth. And so, oh no, the fire alarm just went off. Did you hear
Oh,
that?
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
no, the fire alarm just went off.
Oh,
Let's
no.
ignore. I have to leave the building.
Oh, Julia.
Oh wow, but this is life throws you things that are sometimes unbelievable. Like this instance right now, I have to leave the building, but I want you to take this away, everybody, and Peter will lead you out of this. I want you. It stopped. It was like a false alarm. We're safe,
Whew.
everybody. Woo! But
Woo.
this is like the perfect instance of a day in everybody's life. All of a sudden, there's something, my child calls me, pick me up, I had an accident. Whatever it is, I need you to see those little tiny opportunities, everybody. And 5 steps is better than 0 steps. One time getting out of your chair is better than not getting out of your chair. Anything one time is better than 0 times. And that's what we are here to talk about today, that we have all these little opportunities for one thing, for one little tiny step. And all of these little tiny steps together make up this huge thing that will be so amazing for your health and well-being.
Mm.
And I want you to feel like it's possible for everybody to feel a little better at the end of the day.
Yeah, but I
No,
also
Peter?
think I think it also will feel better uh, when you don't put more pressure on yourself, because as you say, there
Yes.
is already enough pressure on you, on each of us, right, with all the responsibilities that we have as adults, who are perhaps the portion of the population who moves the least compared to, for example, children who are
Hmm.
not yet in this sedentary position
Yeah.
of working. Also in the comments, very fun with Brienne mentioning that she's feeding her pets, and she wants to explore how she can put some movements into that part. Um,
Brienne, yes. Feed
Ta-
your puppy. Feed your
Tammy also
puppy.
has some. Tammy has a question also for you. If there is suggestions what to do about the tight neck and shoulders. Now you've been talking about the hips. Maybe we can move up here just for a good example
Yes.
of what exercises, also as we alluded to in the introduction, gives most bang for the buck, which is obviously different to each one of us. But to Tammy, do you have any suggestions as to this tight neck and shoulders?
Hmm. Do we all feel that now? Because in the morning we get up, we're like oh, this is good. Like, I don't feel too bad. Maybe I don't feel like a 25-year-old, but at the end of the day, when we do our typing, it does get really tight. And it's because of we're not moving. No, we're in this one position. That's what we said about the joints needing to move, like our ankles and knees. We do calf raises, we do knees, high knees, glute kicks, our hips, our spine. The neck is oftentimes something that we oversee because it's like all the way up here. So I recommend to everybody, everyone, to really do movement. It's just all about moving. It's about dropping our ears towards the shoulders. It's about doing I like to call it the owl. Try to see how far you can look back, side to side, look right, look left. Same here. I'm dropping my chin to my chest, and then I look up to my ceiling. So moving your shoulders and your neck is really going to make it all better. Not once a day. I want you to think about this as something that you will have to really, it will be, it's hard. Starting something new is always hard. It doesn't matter how small it is. One step to remember to do this one step is going to be, it's a journey for a reason. Nothing comes easy. We're trying to add something new, and so we just have to think about it. And whatever, Tammy, however you want to remind yourself of adding this to your day, whether it's like me, I like to waste paper, I guess. I like to put sticky notes everywhere. So I am a visual learner. I need that visual stimulation to remind me, oh, move my neck, look right and left, tuck your chin, do some stretches, anything that you can think of that will bring movement and a little release into your neck is really important. Something like raising your shoulder up to your ears, everybody, that's really easy for us now. But now trying to bring them all the way back down. I want you to think about your shoulders as they're trying to high five. So from here, now I'm trying to bring my shoulders all the way back, and you open that chest, maybe even with a big arm sweep back, and then move your arms forward and round that back and tuck your chin. Just along this, let's do it together, everybody. Open your chest and inhale, fill your lungs, feel the stretch in the front, and then push it away and round your back right here. Tuck your chin and exhale. And when we do that 3, 4 times, you will be surprised how much release it has brought into your upper body. Because, yes, this up is pretty stuck now because we're like, even though we might be sitting and standing and doing all the different things, this is going into the screen. We're looking, we're focused. So I want you to unfocus for a second. So however you can make that possible, but this is an opportunity we have a lot. We don't have to look for certain times during the day. It's just something we have to remember. Move your neck. And so as much movement as you can get, Tammy, that's going to be really great. And you will feel a difference at the end of the day. Good question, though, because, yeah, we all feel the neck pain, no?
We do. We do.
It's time already. Oh, my goodness.
It is. Time flies when we're having a good time like this. Thank you so much, Julia, for your inspiration, your suggestions, your concrete examples. I hope we can continue this down in the comment section below,
I hope
where
so.
I know that you'll be monitoring it. I will, and at least forwarding it to you. I know you're obviously very busy, but anyone who has more questions, please do not hesitate to keep the questions flowing. We will be doing our very best to answer to each one of the questions. I just want to say thank you very much to all of you listening. Thank you very much, Julia, for joining us, and I wish you all a good rest of the day.
I'm so thankful that I was able to come in here, meet Peter in San Diego, now hang out with you to tell you a little bit about it is possible to make those changes. It's not big, it's not super hard. We can find these opportunities, and that's what I want you to do today. When you walk away, I want you to think about, okay, what's my next habit that I do every day? And let's see how I can find a home for that little new seed that I want to plant to feel better and to live healthier and happier. And I want you to have a lot of fun while doing it. So play your favorite song and just have a good time with it, everybody.
Thank you, Julia. Have a great
Bye,
day.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.